Alright, 4th grade. Today we're going to read a book called These Hands by Margaret H. Mason, and it's illustrated by Floyd Cooper. If you notice already, these illustrations look a lot like the one from A Dance Like Starlight. So let's see. These hands. Look at these hands, Joseph. Did you know these hands used to tie a triple bowline knot in 3 seconds flat? Well, I can still help a young fellow learn to tie his shoes. Yes, I can. Look at these hands, Joseph. Did you know these hands used to make the ivories sing like a sparrow in springtime? Well, I can still show a young fellow how to play heart and soul. Yes, I can. So ivories refer to like the keys on a piano. So if you've ever played a piano or if you've seen a piano, the little keys that are on it are referred to the ivories. Look at these hands, Joseph. Did you know these hands used to pluck the ace of spades right out of thin air? Well, I can still teach a young fellow how to do a waterfall shuffle. Yes, I can. So based on what we've read so far, who do you think the main characters in this story are? So obviously we have Joseph as the kid, and then maybe Dad or Grandpa telling this story. And it seems like their relationship is pretty close just by looking at the pictures. They seem very close to each other, and they're looking very happy, smiling. Alright, look at these hands, Joseph. Did you know these hands used to throw a curveball faster than a dive-bombing honeybee? Well, I can still help a young fellow learn to hit a line drive. Yes, I can. Look at these hands, Joseph. Did you know these hands were not allowed to mix the bread dough in the Wonder Bread factory? Did you know these hands were not allowed to touch the bread dough in the Wonder Bread factory? Did you know these hands were only allowed to sweep the floors and work the line and load the trucks? Because the bosses said white people would not want to eat bread touched by these hands. So far, Grandpa's been telling Joseph about what his hands could do. But now the story is kind of changing a little bit because he's telling him what his hands could not do or couldn't do. Alright? So Joseph says that Grandpa told Joseph that his hands weren't allowed to touch the dough at the bakery where he worked. So I want you to think now, what work was he allowed to do? And what do you think about that? How does that make you feel? It can make you feel angry, upset, annoyed, frustrated. Well, these hands joined with other hands and we wrote our petitions. And a petition is when you are trying to get something changed. And we carried our signs. And we raised our voices together. So what happened was that Grandpa and other African American people, they were being discriminated against or being treated unfairly because of the color of their skin and their race. So how did they use their hands to fight discrimination? Let's see. Now any hands can mix the bread dough, no matter their color. Now any hands can touch the bread dough, no matter their color. Yes, they can. Look at these hands, Grandpa. These hands used to not be able to tie a shoe, or play the piano, or shuffle the cards, or hit the ball. Now I can do all that, plus bake a fine loaf of bread, can't I? Why, yes you can, Joseph. Look at those hands. Those hands can do anything. Anything at all in this whole wide world. Yes, you can. Alright, so this is the book about these hands. But I want you to think, on the last page, Grandpa told Joseph that his hands can do anything in the whole wide world. I want you to think about what he meant by that. What did he mean about his hands can do anything in the whole wide world? And just think, because his grandpa fought for the rights of African Americans, he's now able to do the things that he can do today. So, because his grandpa fought for rights, he's now able to do things that the grandpa wasn't able to do back then. Alright, 4th grade? So, this book is probably one of Miss Johnson's favorites. It's a short book, but it's very powerful because it just shows the power that we have as human beings. Humans are amazing people that can do anything if they put their mind to it. Alright? So you're going to have some questions to answer after this book, like usual. So have a wonderful rest of your day, 4th grade.